Right now what we see on the screen is our login window for the platform. Just a couple of points I was hoping to mention first about the software was the fact that it's a Windows-based application. What we did here was we actually downloaded and installed it to the computer. And what this makes for is a much more stable and reliable system. We have a battle-tested software. Our 27,000 traders, whether they're trading to New York, Hong Kong, London, or Tokyo, trade using the same exact software. And it's the same for our demo and real accounts. So, of course, anytime our traders want to place trades over the phone, they're able to with the dealing desk 24 hours a day. What I'm going to do here now is just log into a demo account, and we can start going through all of the functionality of that software. And anybody feel free to stop me at any time and ask me any questions that you may have. Okay, you'll notice here that the connection is set to demo. If this was a real username or password for a real account, I would simply switch that over, and it's the same software that would log me into a real account. So here's my demo username and password, and it's going to take just a few moments to log in and pull up all the account information. Okay. Now, what we see here is the main window. The nice thing about the software is that it's pretty user-friendly. All the relevant account information is displayed. It's pretty concise, and you're able to track your account and all of your positions from this one screen. You don't have to scroll back into other tabs or screens or anything like that. There's a few different windows here, and we're going to go through those one by one. I'll do a basic introduction first, and we'll go through into detail each and every function and each and every button in the windows. Perhaps the most significant window that we see here is the dealing rates window, which is right here. This is where FXCM displays the 17 currency pairs that we offer for trading. These are the world's most liquid currency pairs, the ones that have the tightest spreads, and where we're able to ensure execution. Now, the most important thing which really sets FXCM apart and which is good for any trader to know is that the prices here are real-time market prices for these world's most liquid currency pairs. They're always dealable and executable prices, and this is good to know because they're not indicative prices, as many companies these days show. They show you a certain price, they show you a certain spread, which may or may not be able to, may or may not be the price you can trade at any given time. You never have to request a quote. In fact, you might see a request a quote button here, but it's actually something that's been phased out of the system. You never need to use it because you know at all times that this is the current market rate where you are able to buy and sell. Very simply, the price you see here is the price you get. And we take pride in providing transparent, unbiased prices that are always honored, regardless of the size of your transaction. So even if it's a small one-lot order, or 10 or 15 or 100-lot position, these are the prices that you do get. Now, these guaranteed buy and sell prices are the most competitive and result in tighter spreads. They won't increase with market volatility. Other companies often widen spreads as they see fit, which makes it more expensive to buy or sell when the market conditions are volatile. And just to reiterate, we take pride in this unique competitive advantage because we have so many traders and so much volume and liquidity per month. This is really the secret to why the execution is so good with this platform. To give you guys an example, let me just scroll down here, and you can actually see all 17 currency pairs. The way that you read the dealing rates window is this. For a pair like the Euro-US dollar, we have here, this is the current sell price. This is the current buy price in the market. This window also displays the lowest sell price and the highest buy price for the trading day. And as we know, because this is a seamless 24-hour market, the trading day starts at 5 p.m. Eastern Time, and sort of, at 5 o'clock, that's when this day ends and the next trading day begins. So these are the high and low prices since 5 o'clock afternoon yesterday. And we see that's the case for all the currency pairs we have here. Now, this is the way that the prices are quoted here are similar to how the big banks quote prices to each other, and that's with the last 2 digits of the quotation enlarged just for ease of use so you can track easily what's going on with small movements in the market. But this is pretty much read like this. The sell price currently for euros, when you want to sell euros, they're worth $1.2414, and when you want to buy euros, they're worth $1.2418. Okay, and so forth and so on. Here, each dollar is worth 107.39 yen. When you want to sell, and 107.44 yen when you want to buy. Now, to place a sample trade, this is the best way to see how to enter an order very quickly. This is called a market order. A market order is pretty much an order to buy or sell at the current market price, whatever it may be here in the screen. Now, there's a few different ways to do the same thing on the platform. I'm going to show you guys the easiest and fastest way, which will, avoid any confusion. Pretty much at any time, you can click directly on the buy price or the sell price for any of those currency pairs. And in the process, it's going to pop up a window. It's going to be called the market order window. And this is where you confirm your account number. Okay, in this case, we only have one because we only have one account number for this username or password. I'm going to show some examples later on for users who have multiple accounts, how you can trade different accounts from the same platform. We have a very nice function that allows that. This is also where you confirm the currency pair that you want to trade. Obviously, since we clicked on Euro USD, that's what pops up in the window up here. But if at any time you did that by mistake, you changed your mind, from the drop-down menu, you're able to see a list of all 17 currency pairs that we offer, and you can change that as you see fit. This is where you confirm whether you want to buy or sell that currency pair. Again, since we clicked on the buy price, buy comes up by default, but here you are able to confirm and change that before you confirm your order. So we'll keep that at buy here. Amount K is an abbreviation for the size of your position. Right now, what we've logged into is a standard demo account, which means that you trade standard lot sizes in increments of 100,000 units of base currency. All that this means here, this 100K, is that is an abbreviation for 100,000 units. Since the euro is the base currency here, we're either buying or selling 100,000 euros at any given moment in time. So this is the smallest lot size because it's a standard account. If I was trading a mini account, and this is an option, a unique option that our company has, all that means is that you're able to trade non-standard lot sizes of 10,000 or 20,000 or 30,000 rather than 100,000 and 200,000 as we see here. We can log into that later on, and I'll show you some slight differences between the standard and the mini account. For the most part, that was developed for beginner traders who don't want to place very large positions in the market. It's like the difference between trading 10,000 shares of IBM and 100,000 shares of IBM. By opening up a smaller position, you take on less risk in the market, and it's ideal for people just getting started and who want to learn about trading without, risking too much. So what we see here is an option to open up anywhere from 1 lot to 10 lots, and that's denoted by 100K or a 1 million euro position. Now, there's no restriction to the size of your order. In fact, we have so many clients and so much volume, you can place an order as large as you want, provided that you have sufficient margin to back it up. In order to enter that, though, you would do that manually. For example, a figure of 1,500K would be equivalent to 15 lots or 1,500,000 euros in this case. Now, let me just move this over to the side a bit. What we see here, the rate, we'll notice that that's a grayed out figure. And all that is that it corresponds to the current market rate of Euro USD, which we see here in the dealing rates window. So you'll actually see these move in tandem. It's okay, even though I've had this window open for a few minutes and the prices have changed so far while I've been speaking, the rate in the window here does update. And this way, a person who wants to trade very quickly can keep this window open at all times. And when you click OK, this is pretty much the rate that your order is going to be executed at. Are there any questions so far?
Going back to on mini contracts.
Yes, sir.
If someone wants to, are you limited to the standard lot sizes you mentioned there for minis? You mentioned like 10, 15, 20. Can you put in a different quota amount there?
Absolutely. And if you like, I can show you an example of that. I can log out very quickly here, and I'll show you just the small, slight differences in the mini account, and so that we can appreciate that. Let me just re-log in here. And notice that even though it's a mini account, the lot sizes are different. I'm still using the same software. I'm going to put here a mini test password. Okay, and this is actually a test real account, so I would switch over the connection to real. And I'll just show you what those lot sizes look like. But pretty much to answer your question, if you wanted to trade 10 mini lots, each one is 10,000 units. That's pretty much the equivalent of one standard lot. We see some pop-up messages here, which we often send to our real traders, letting them know our holiday hours. But I will get into that in a bit more detail when we get to that window. So let me just pull up a market order here. And we see here 10K rather than 100K. And that's the smallest increment that you can trade on the mini account. So here, pretty much 100K, or 10 lots on the mini, would have been equivalent to 1 lot in the previous account that we were looking at. There is no limit. If you wanted to trade, for example, 200K, that's 20 mini lots, which are equivalent to 2 standard lots. And, of course, because each mini lot is smaller, the margin for each one would be a bit smaller, and we're going to talk about that once we talk about the equity and use margin figures.
Can you even go with odd increments? Like, could you put like an example right there in front of you? Could we put in, say, 15?
Like 100 and like 1,500?
No, instead you have it. If you go to that drop-down table
right
there, you see 10, 20. Could I put in, say, 15 there?
Oh, I see what you mean. No, because that would indicate 1.5 mini lots, and you'd have to trade in increments of each mini lot. So it's 10,000, 20,000, 30,000. You can't trade like 15,000.
So the smallest increment on mini lots is 10.
Exactly, which is in itself so non-standard. I mean, then, no bank would deal in that much. The only reason we're able to offer a lot that small in increments of 10,000 is because we have so many buyers and sellers, and we can aggregate those positions to offset them.
How's the PIP spread compare with mini lots versus standard accounts?
That's a very good question. There is only a slight difference on 2 of the pairs. A Euro USD here, you'll notice it's a 5 pip spread, and the dollar Swiss, you'll notice it's a 7 pip spread. On the standard account, it was 4 pips for Euro, and it was 5 pips for dollar Swiss. The other majors here are 5 pips, and the rest of them are completely no different than the mini and the standard account. Just because you're trading a smaller lot size, it's sort of similar to when you go to the supermarket and you get, an individual serving rather than a family size serving. There's a slightly higher cost to trading these 2 pairs on the mini account.
So it's a little bit more expensive on the Euro and the Swissy?
And everything else is exactly the same.
Okay.
Okay, let me log back out and back into our standard account, and we can continue with our example of a market order.
Oh, one final question on the mini.
Sure.
Why is it just the Euro and the Swissy are a little bit more expensive to trade versus the other ones have that? It seems like it'd be the other way around, like the more liquid ones would be the ones that they would maintain the tighter spreads.
True. For a very simple reason that the majority of trades go through on these 2 pairs, the vast majority of volume. It does take a little bit more effort on our behalf to properly offset them because we've created those unique mini databases which nobody has, and it does take more systems in place from our dealing desk to be able to properly aggregate and offset them. And this way, that's why not everybody else can do that. So we do have some more technology in place, some more dealers in place, to be able to provide that product, and just to make up for that non-standard lot size. That's why the spread is slightly wider.
All right, thank you.
No problem. I'm going to go back and put here my demo username and password. And by the way, guys, feel free to interrupt anytime. I mean, there may be some small things that you're, curious about. Hopefully I can answer any questions you have. Let's go back and pull up that market order here for the Euro. Okay. Pretty much these are very basic. I think everybody should understand that by now. Let's talk a little bit about this feature here. Sometimes this confuses people. They're not sure what that is. This is something that our company developed uniquely for traders with a below-average internet connection. It's actually, to be honest, something that 99% of our clients never use and never have to use. Because we have a lot of traders from South Africa, overseas countries who use poor dial-up connections, their trading is sometimes affected and they have difficulty entering or exiting positions. Especially if the market's moving very quickly, their connection is simply not keeping up. And of course, no system is going to allow an order to go through at an old price. So this is designed to help them overcome that, to enter, and exit trades more quickly. Pretty much all that this does is it allows them to select a range of points or pips that they're willing to accept. To give you guys a hypothetical example, let's say right now I am a trader, in the Middle East. All I have is a poor dial-up connection, and the market prices are moving quickly. I may see here on my screen 124.12 by 16, but that could be I'm falling behind, and the rest of FXCM's clientele are seeing the correct market price on the server of 15.19, for example. So if I try to buy at 16 and the proper buy price is 19, and because of bad connection, the system may not let my order go through. This feature allows me to say, well, okay, I'd like to buy at 124.15 or 124.16, 17, 18, 19. I'm willing to accept a price of more than 4 pips. And if I click OK, it's not going to fill me at a 4 pip greater price. All that it does is fill me at the correct market price, provided that it's within the range that's acceptable to me. So the whole idea behind this is to give people the ability to enter and exit at the correct market price as they see fit. And if it's outside of the range that's acceptable to them, again, the order won't go through, and they'll have the option to re-enter an order. Like I said, 99.99% of traders have this set to 0, and they never have to use it. If your connection is good enough, then you know that the prices you're seeing here are real-time prices, and these are the prices where you can buy and sell at all times.
What's considered good enough?
I mean, our minimum system requirements are like a dial-up connection, like a 56K modem. Obviously because of poor infrastructure in the phone lines, some places they are as slow as 15K, which is a horrible internet connection. But these people still want to trade. They simply don't have access to a better connection available. If the majority of your clients are U.S. based, most likely I've never even talked to anybody who ever had to use this in the U.S. If you do have, I'm sorry,
even with a dial-up,
even with a dial-up connection
in the U.S.
Yeah, I mean, there are always certain circumstances. If a person has a poor connection to his ISP, there are some providers out there that are not as fast as others. And let's just say he has a poor phone line, a poor internet service, connection. Obviously, the best solution is to try to reconnect, get a better connection, or upgrade your internet. But if you insist on using a dial-up connection, you know that your connection is poor. This is simply something available to help you still enter and exit the market quickly when it's important for you.
By the way, what are the system requirements? Aside from the you said dial-up, but what are the actual hardware requirements for
That's a good question. Pretty much, this is only a 5 megabyte software. It's a pretty small software. It's actually just like a calculator, a kind of an advanced calculator. If I can pull up an internet browser here, I can show you on our page where we have our system requirements. Is there a...
Oh, I can look it up later. That's fine.
Okay. Actually, you know what? I can pull that information for you right away. Just give me one moment. What we have recommended on our website are the following minimum requirements. These are a Pentium 133 megahertz processor or better, so that's pretty old. That would work. At least 64 megabytes of RAM or better for ideal performance. Hard drive of 10 megabytes free space, and we're talking megabytes, not gigabytes here. The operating system, a Windows operating system, which is Windows 95 or newer. So anything from 95 to 98 to Millennium to 2000 XP, all should work fine with the software. As far as dial-up connection, 56K or better is what we recommend, and Internet Explorer 6.0 or newer. So this is usually, that pretty much any new computer these days should meet those requirements. Maybe the only person who can't use that is somebody running the old Windows before Windows 95, I'm not sure if anybody still has that.
Right.
Let's move on here. We have a couple more things that we see in the market order window. We see the ability to add a stopper limit directly to the ticket number. And this is just a shortcut to help people trade quickly. This is optional, of course. You don't have to add a stop order or a limit order. But if you do want to, you would check either stop or limit. Okay, and you would have the ability, you see some default prices come up here, but of course for any stop price or limit price, you would enter in the price of your choice. For example, right now I'm buying euros at 24.16. If I want to protect myself against losses, let's say I want to close the position, should the market move to at the figure at 124. So I just type in 124.100, okay, and let's say that I'm looking to take profit at a level of 125. Okay, that's the reasonable target level. You can type that in, and by clicking OK, I'm not only putting in a market order to buy at the current market price, I'm also adding to that 2 contingent orders, and I'm able to walk away from the computer and know that I have orders in place. Now, you see how fast the execution was? It was pretty much instantaneous. And like I said, to reiterate, we have that no slippage guarantee. We have an execution guarantee, which means that if you're selecting a price, when you click OK and the market price is 15, you will not be filled at any other price. This is the open price at which the position was open.
Going back to that order, that stop limit order you just put in.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I'm thinking like in futures where you can put in a stop limit where the stop price sort of activates the order, then it becomes a limit order, meaning that you won't get filled. In other words, if in case of a runaway market, now this is talking in future terms, that you won't get your market will be activated, but it won't be filled at a price so badly that you may not actually get in the market, even though your stop may have been.
You pretty much determine the minimum price at which you're willing to accept the order. I understand what you mean completely, and let me clarify that for you guys, because there's a slight difference in terminology in the platform. On our platform, stop orders and limit orders, which is what we have here. Your stop and your limit are orders specifically to close an existing ticket number or to close an existing position. What you referenced in order to enter the market or to open up a new position is something that we call an entry order. And I'm going to go through that in a lot of detail if you just give me a couple moments. I'm going to go through.
So you can't use a stop to open a position?
Like, oh, you can. You can. It's just called by this. We call it an entry order, and then the system tells you whether it's a stop or limit order. You don't have to make. You don't have to frustrate yourself with the terminology.
Okay.
You just choose where you want to buy and where you want to sell in the future, and we're going to do some examples of that as well. But I just want to divert everybody's attention now to the open positions window, and we can talk a little bit about that. Let me just see here. Okay. Now, just some points to emphasize about the open positions window is that, like I said, each position that you open, it has a unique ticket number here, which is your reference, okay? And this includes a complete description of your trade, including the account number that you've traded on, the currency pair, the size of your position, in this case, one lot, whether you bought or sold, and the exact price at which you opened the position. I'm sorry, guys. This is where we were looking. This is something else. We were looking at closed positions. So here's your open positions window, your ticket number, your account number, the currency you've traded, the size of your position. We bought here at a price of $124.15. Now, the system is pretty smart. The close price here, all that refers to is the price at which you could close that position at any given moment in time. So the system knows that, okay, we bought euros at $124.15. If I want to close that position out, you have to close the position by selling it at the sell price. And what we see here is automatically the sell price for euros in real time. Okay, so this figure automatically corresponds to right here. If we had initially sold euros, we would see here an S for sell. We would see the open price at which we sold it, and what we'd see here is the buy price at which we can close that position. And what the system does for the user is it benchmarks, it compares the price at which you open the position and the price at which you can close it. And the difference in those prices is pretty much, determines the value of your position, your floating profit and floating loss, and that's calculated for you here automatically in dollar terms. So there's never a need to calculate that. It's already done for you in dollars. Now here we see that the stop order and the limit order that we added to the open position. And we see here the P&L stands for profit or loss in terms of pips. Okay, right now compared to the price at which I opened it to the price at which I can close it, I have a difference of 2 pips. And these all dynamically update as the market prices move here in the dealing rates window. The gross profit or loss is my gross P&L pretty much in dollar terms. Okay, so here I see a floating loss on this position of minus $20. The screen here is a bit small. Let me see if I can try to maximize that and show you the rest of that window. Here we go. Okay. COM here stands for commissions. Any account opened directly, there is no commissions. Of course, for introducing brokers who provide any value-added services, this is where the client may see any commissions he's agreed upon with his broker. And that's purely between the client and anybody who is, helping him out. But that's where that figure would appear. INT here stands for the interest column. We transparently show the interest that's accrued when you hold positions overnight. And in this case, of course, we just open this, so we see a 0 figure here. And finally, in the open positions window, we see a timestamp for the order, the exact date and time at which the position was opened. So as long as my position is here in the open positions, we call that a floating position, and this is where we track it. We see here now that the prices have moved, and the system automatically has updated the value for the P&L for that particular ticket number. A couple points I want to mention. We did add a stop and limit order here to this open position. These orders are by default OCO, which stands for one cancels the other. These are just there to close out the position at a price of my choosing. Should the market move against me and I lose 15 pips, or should the market move in my favor and I make 85 pips, we have a no slippage guarantee on these orders. So I know that what you mentioned, sir, was that some people have to specify more, clearly, like a stop limit order, that I'm only willing to get this price or better. That's not necessary with FXCM because you're accurately able to know exactly what price your order is going to be closed at. Even if the market gapped up a few points, let's say that the market jumped from 124.90 to 125.05, okay, you're not going to be filled at the next best level. You're going to be filled at exactly your price. If the market moved against you and you were only planning on losing 15 pips, okay, let's say the market moved down to 123.50, 23.90. Okay, let's say some really bad news came out for the euro and the market gapped down a little bit. It can happen sometimes. It's not common, but it happens. FXCM still honors your stop price, and you would not lose 25 pips. You would only lose the 15 pips as you specified here. And again, this is something that only our company is able to provide because we have so many buyers and sellers. At any given price level, we have pretty much somebody buying, somebody selling, and that's the secret to why we can always honor the price at all times. At any time, I can change the stop order and limit order, which I have set to a ticket number, very easily. And let me show you guys the easiest and fastest way to do that. I can right-click directly on that open position, okay, and I'll see that the option that comes up in this menu is stop limit. Okay, this pulls up a small window here, which is my stop and limit order window. And what I see here is the ticket number for my trade. Okay, I see here limit. Okay, if I wanted to alter the stop, I would just change that to stop. And notice here I have the option to delete the orders, which I have already set, or the option to change it by re-entering a new price. Let's say I want to take, I want to stop my position out at 23.90. Okay, by changing that, it automatically registers on my open position, and now my position will only be closed if the market moves against me and hits 23.90. Now keep in mind again, this is a long position. I've bought at a certain price, so thus these stop and limit orders are, in a sense, pretty much sell orders. They're both sell orders to sell the position should it move to this price or to this price. And that will be triggered automatically and instantly once the sell price for that currency pair hits the price that I've specified. Okay, so let's say the market turns against me. Here I see a figure of 123.90. My stop will be triggered. It will close the ticket number, it'll close the position, and the limit order, which I have attached to it as well, will be canceled. It's one OCO. At any time, of course, if I change my mind, I can right-click. Okay. There's just a bit of a lag here. Let me see if I can pull up that window again. Do you guys still see the mouse moving at all?
Yes.
Okay. I'll just give it a couple of moments. There we go. If I had just changed my mind completely and wanted to remove those orders, I would just click on the delete function for each stop and for each limit. So I would do that again. And I would delete that limit as well. And that's the same exact way. Let's say that from the very beginning, when I created the market order, if I had not chosen to add the stop or limit immediately, I could have at any time in the future come back to that ticket number and gone to the same exact menu and added my stop or limit in a similar manner here. Okay? Any questions about stops and limits so far?
No.
Okay, great. Let's move on. Let me open up a couple more positions here.
Well, could you contrast it with an entry order right now?
Absolutely, absolutely. An entry order is different from a market order in that it's pretty much specifically an order to enter the market at a future price. You choose when you want to buy and sell, and you choose the price when you want to buy and sell. The easiest and fastest way to create an entry order is to click on the entry button here up in the toolbar. Now, keep in mind, guys, that there's a lot of, similar functionality in the software. What I'm showing you here is just the easiest shortcuts. But, for example, if I clicked on the SL button here and I had a position highlighted, SL stands for stop limit. All it would do would open up the same exact stop limit order window, which we did by right-clicking previously. So in this case, this is the easiest way to pull that up. What we see here is an entry order window. Again, you specify the account you want to trade, the currency you want to trade, whether you want to buy or sell, the size of your position. But here you'll notice that it's not the current market rate. This is where you can enter a rate of your choosing. So right now the euro is trading at 124.07 by 11. Let's say that I'm looking to sell euros when the sell price reaches 125. And all I do here is I enter in 1.2500. Okay. Again, I'm able to add an additional stop order and limit order, which are contingent. This has nothing to do with stop entry or limit entry. Okay, I don't even have to worry about that. In fact, I'm not even going to choose a stop or limit order right now. I'm just going to create an entry order for 125. By clicking OK, it's going to put my order in the orders window. And let me just sort of maximize that so that we can all take a look here. Okay, it's not an open position quite yet. What it is a waiting order. And that waiting order is not given a ticket number, it's given an order ID number. If it's ultimately executed, then we will see it become an open position down here, and it will have its own ticket number. This is, again, our account number, and this is where we call that a stop entry order, okay, because we're looking to, we're looking to buy at 125, so that's sort of like a breakout strategy. I actually made a mistake. I did not switch the entry order from buy to sell. Okay, I could have done that by doing that before I created that order. So this is a stop entry order, and it's going to be triggered automatically and instantly once the buy price for euro hits 125, which is the price that I've specified. And again, this is something that our company honors with a no slippage guarantee. It's very possible that news comes out which drives the market up quickly, and let's say the market moves from 124.95 to 125.05. You're still going to be filled at the price which you chose of 1.2500. And if anybody's ever traded any other markets, you know, that's pretty much an unrealistic sort of execution guarantee that we're providing. Again, it's only possible because we have so much volume and liquidity, so many buyers and sellers, which allows us to do that, even though sometimes we do take a few points loss, you know, because the next best market price would have been 125.05. You still get filled at a better buy price. Now, if I wanted to add additional stop orders and limit orders to that, I could have done that when I originally created the entry order from here, or I can add them at any later time from the orders window. Again, I can right-click on that order, and I'll see another menu that comes up here, and again, I see the stop limit option. All that means is that I'm adding additional stop and limit orders so that if this entry order were to be executed and becomes an open position, it will automatically have a stop and limit attached to it. You can sort of set your trade. You can walk away, okay, even if you turn your account off. If the market reached that level, you know that you get in the market at exactly the price that you choose, and then should the market move in your favor, you'll have a limit to take profit, and if the market moves against you, you cut your losses, and you accurately define your risk with every trade.
In other words, you could specify an entry order and then limit orders behind it that aren't activated unless the entry order is triggered to limit your loss or to specify how much profit you're looking for.
Absolutely. Let me give a hypothetical example. Since we're looking to enter the market by buying here at 125, it's possible that I'm looking to take profits at 126. Okay? I think that the market's going to continue moving up, so I'd add this contingent limit order. And at the same time, I'd like to, you know, use a risk-reward strategy of 2 to 1. I'm only willing to lose 50 pips on this trade, and thus, when I buy at 2,500, I'd be looking to gut out and keep my losses at 24.50. Okay? And here I added that stop and limit order. These are completely meaningless unless the entry order itself gets triggered first. Okay? When the buy price hits 125, I'm going to see this is going to be, say, executed, and in a matter of instance come down as an open position. It's going to have its own ticket number, and it's going to have a stop and limit order which will close the position should the market then move in my favor or against me. And this is very good for people. We have a lot of institutional traders who have systems in place. They're identifying key entry and exit points. They're able to place that, walk away, and, you know, trade unemotionally based on their analysis. The entry order itself, if I changed my mind and I wanted to change the price for that, again, by right-clicking on it, I have a menu here. From that menu, I'm not only able to add the stop and limit, which I just did, I'm also able to completely delete the entry order. I'm able to change the price, and I'm able to create a new entry order as I see fit. Let's see here that I wanted to change my entry price from 12500 to 125.50. Okay, and that automatically changed the price right here. Okay, let's say I changed my mind completely. I did not intend on buying at 125. I think that's going to be a resistance level, and I plan on selling at 125. So I can remove this order. Okay, I can confirm that. And then I simply go back, and either by right-clicking here, I can create a new entry order, or the same exact thing would be to click on the entry button up in the toolbar here. Okay, and there I would specify this time to sell at a price of my choosing, 125, and then click OK. And the system's smart. It automatically recognizes that as a limit entry order. I didn't have to worry about that. All I chose is when I wanted to buy and when I wanted to sell. But here it's denoted by limit entry. Okay?
All right.
Excellent. Any questions so far about entry orders?
Not at the moment.
Okay, very good. Let's move our attention a little bit here up to the accounts window. This is a pretty important window which people should be familiar with. Let me just see if I can scroll over a bit here. You know what? Let me just move this over because I can't see it all. Okay, let me open up a few more positions, and I can show you how the accounts window aggregates the information for all of your positions. So let's say I buy one more lot of euro. Okay, and let's say I come back and put in some other currency pairs here, euro Swiss. Okay, let's say I sell dollar yen. Okay. So now you'll notice in my open positions window I have a number of different open positions. Each one has its own ticket number for different currency pairs. And let me talk about the accounts window a little bit here. Like we said, this is your account number. In this example, I'm only talking about one account. In a bit, I'll show you guys how we have the multiple accounts feature. This is the balance of the account. Okay, this is the equity of the account. The only difference between balance and equity is that equity takes into account floating profit and floating losses in real time, whereas the balance is only realized profits and losses. So people can actually ignore this. This is a more accurate representation of the value of your account because it floats in real time. Every point that the market moves in your favor or against you, for each ticket number, you see the total. You see the total profit and loss for each ticket number, but you also see the total gross profit and loss on the account. And this is reflected in the equity. Of course, right now, my equity is a little bit less because I have a small floating loss on all of these positions. Let's talk about margin and how you can recognize and track your margin on our system, and that you can do through the used margin and usable margin figures in the accounts window. Pretty much, the used margin, all that means is the margin requirement, the total margin requirement for all of your open positions. In this demo account right now, what I'm seeing here is that each lot that I open, each standard lot of 100,000, has a margin requirement of $1,000 US, approximately 1%. And I see here, because I have 4 open positions, my margin requirement to open and maintain these positions is $4,000. That's what this figure right here means. Now, the system recognizes that I have this much usable margin left over. Used plus usable margin is the value of your account or your equity. So this usable margin I can consider, or I can perceive in a couple of different ways. One, it is your additional buying power. You can open up new positions with this usable margin, and at the same time, it should be considered by the trader as the maximum amount of loss they can incur before a margin call gets triggered. Now, the great thing about our system is that we have an automatic margin call watcher. The moment that your equity falls below the margin requirement, or in other words, the moment that usable margin falls below 0, the system recognizes that you have fell below your margin requirement and thus triggers a margin call. That's what this stands for right here. So you would see this become yes, and instantly some or all of your positions would be closed to prevent the trader from losing more money than they had in the account. And this is, again, something which is very advantageous because it allows our traders to trade with a higher degree of, safety. They can use their leverage more aggressively with the peace of mind that they're not able to fall into a negative equity. They're never going to owe us more money, which may happen, in a fast market in the futures exchange, for example. If they get locked out of their position, for example, they may get a margin call 1 or 2 days late and wind up owing that futures house more money. And that's not. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
You're saying that if your usable margin is used up, what happens then? The margin call becomes yes?
Yes. Pretty much that automatically and electronically triggers a margin call, and what the system does automatically is close some or all of your positions in your open positions here.
Could you set it so that, say, if half of your usable margin is drawn down, could the system automatically exit all positions?
Well, absolutely. I mean, if that's the case, you would just add the specific stop order for each one.
You have to manually, okay, wouldn't.
Where you determine that. If, of course, you wanted to increase your margin requirement, which means that, let's say that rather than require $1,000 per lot, you require $2,000 per lot. Margin is completely customizable. What we're providing here on the demo account is our most lenient margin requirement. Any trader, for example, can say, well, for each lot that I open up, I want my margin to be $2,000. So here I would see, rather than $4,000 for 4 lots, I would see a used margin of $8,000. Which would leave me with $4,000 less in usable margin. So if that's the case, a margin call would happen a little bit faster, but a person would be pretty much controlling his risk by controlling the margin requirement for each lot. Does that better answer your question?
Yeah, it does.
Okay, great. That's pretty straightforward, to be honest with you. This is a real-time figure. So is this. So is this. And at the moment that you close your positions, if you have a certain number of floating loss here, if I close all of my positions at once, I would see that reflected in the balance, and that would be a realized loss on my account. Now, one thing that I probably should have mentioned is, well, how do we close positions? It's a fundamental and basic thing which traders need to do. There's a couple different ways, and again, we've developed a very easy way to make it very user-friendly for traders. Obviously, if I have a long Euro-USD position here, I can put in a new sell order. But that is not the preferred way to close a position. Why? Because I have two Euro-USD positions. If I clicked on a sell order and did a new market order to sell, which one of them is it going to sell? The system by default would sell the oldest position, or the one which I opened first, which I believe is one of these. Okay? A much better way to specify exactly what ticket number you want to close is to use the close feature in the platform. And you can do that by clicking on the close button, or even easier, just right-clicking on the position itself. And if you remember that menu, one of the options was to close the position. This opens up a confirmation window. I'm able to specify exactly, just confirm that that's the right ticket number I want to close. If it was a position which was, for example, multiple lots, okay, let's say it was a 5-lot Euro-USD position. Let me just enter that quickly. Here it is, okay, and I choose the close feature. I'm even able to close a partial amount. I don't have to close all 5 lots at once. I can close one of those lots, 3 of those lots, and this makes it very versatile. Let's say I just want to close 3 of those lots.
Yeah, in case you want to, say, scale in, then scale out of it.
Exactly. The rate here, again, corresponds to the current market rate at which you can close that position. It's grayed out, and it's not something you can change because it just corresponds to whatever the market rate is. And here it knows that because it's a long position, because it's a buy order, I can close it by closing it at the current sell price of 124.11. And again, for those users with a slow connection, this feature is there to help them exit the position quickly in a fast-moving market if they have a very, poor connection. So by clicking OK, goes through very quickly. I see here it's immediately executed at exactly the price, okay? And I see here that I only have 2 lots remaining because I went ahead and closed 3 of those lots. Now, if you noticed before, we had a window here called the Close Positions window. This is where you can track the positions that you've closed for this trading day, and it's pretty much the same information as we saw in open positions, except in this case, this is actually the price where you closed it. Okay, this is not a floating position anymore. This is actually the gross P&L which you realized. This is how many pips you've gained or lost on that position. And this just helps traders, sort of see what they've been doing for that trading day. It helps them track it a bit more easier. Let us look and focus a little bit on the summary window, which we have here. A lot of traders who are used to trading stocks, let me just put this in the middle, and we'll focus on that a bit. People who are used to trading shares or stocks are used to having their, position averaged. If they opened up 50 shares at $55 and they opened up another 50 shares at $60, it's pretty much you have 100 shares with an average price of like $57.50. This is sort of what the summary window does. And for each currency pair that I have open, it gives me a total summary of the total amount of positions I have bought or sold. In this case, I have a total of 4 lots bought in Euro-USD. I see 1 lot here, 2 lots, and then I have another 2 lots here. And here I see the average buy price at which I've entered the market. This corresponds to the current market price, and this is just a summary window to help me track my open positions a little bit more easier. Some people have a lot of different lots and tickets and positions. This helps them see, well, in Euro-USD, I'm down a total of $230. I have a total of 4 lots open, and this is my net P&L on that trade. Okay, for short positions, that information would appear in the average sell column and the amount he sold total, as I see here for dollar-yen. And there's really no functionality for this window. If I right-click, there's no menus. It's pretty much there to help me track what's going on in a more concise and organized fashion. To be honest, a lot of people don't even bother looking at that. They simply track it for each ticket number, and they want to manage each one individually. So you can do that from the Open Positions window. A couple of nice shortcuts which traders might find useful is, for example, if they need to close positions very quickly, let's say they want to get out of all of their Euro-USD positions at the same time, you can click Control on your keyboard, and you're able to highlight more than one position at the same time. For example, here I've highlighted all of my Euro USD positions. By clicking on the close button now, I actually get a confirmation to close all 3 tickets simultaneously.
Oh, that's nice.
And by clicking yes, that goes through instantaneously at the current market price. So, we have day traders who trade very fast. They want to get in and out very quickly. The system has a lot of hotkeys and functions to help them do that. This is the basic windows. What we see here is the message window. If you guys remembered in the mini account when I logged in, there were some pop-up windows. I would see some messages come up here. If the dealing desk ever needed to send me a message, it would appear in this window here. The great thing about this platform is it's completely customizable. For example, let's say that I never use the summary window. I don't want to look at that. Okay. All I want to look at is my open positions and, my orders. You can do that. You could reorganize any of the windows as you see fit. And because this is a Windows application, you can save those changes to your computer. Let me go through quickly some of the other functionality and some of the options that you can change. But before I do that, let me just stop and ask you guys if there are any questions that you have so far.
How do you bring back a window you may have just closed?
Great question. Great question. You can go up to the window menu up here. You'll see all the windows, and in that case, the one that I had closed, I could just bring back, and here it comes up.
Okay. Another question I have is I'm looking at that bar. You see that one there versus quote. You mentioned earlier that you're dealing in the 17 most liquid currency pairs, right?
That's correct.
What about any exotics? Is that an option available to a trader if they have an opinion on some exotic currency like the Thai baht or something? I don't know.
It's a very good question, and there's a very good reason why we don't deal with those currencies at all. We focus on the most liquid currency pairs for a variety of reasons. One, these are the ones that are most cost efficient to trade. We can get the tightest spreads, and we're able to offer the execution guarantee, which would simply not be possible. A person who traded the Thai baht, for example, outside of Thailand's hours, it's possible that no banks are making markets. It's possible that the spread goes up to 100, 200 points. If a person had a position, it's possible that the banks increase their margin requirements and margin them out immediately. There's so many disadvantages to trading those exotics that we pretty much felt it's not worth it. We wouldn't be able to service our clients and provide the execution that we want to provide to our clients. Okay. And that's no different than trading, pork bellies, or an illiquid stock, for example. Outside of that market's trading hours, execution is horrible. Nobody can honor their prices, and you simply can't trade it. And this is why we've dealt in the currencies that we thought were sufficient, where people want to speculate and make their money. And that's pretty much the reason why.
Okay.
A lot of places I know, they have maybe a list of 50 currency pairs, and they show you a price. But to be honest, if you try to buy and sell at those prices, you may not even get those prices. It's just there as an indicative feed, sort of, which looks good, but it's not very practical, and we don't even bother with those pretty much.
Okay.
What we can do here is we can actually change the view for the dealing rates window. Maybe a person is not used to this. They want a simpler view. By right-clicking in the advanced dealing rates window, you actually see a menu that comes up, and notice some of the duplication in the functionality. If I wanted to create a market order, I can do so from here, but it's just easier to click on the buy and sell price. If I want to create an entry order, again, I can do so from here. It's just easier to click on the toolbar menu. But what I wanted to show you guys was how to change the look and feel from advanced to what it is now to the simple dealing rates window. And all that does is show me the exact information in a tabular format. It could be that some people prefer to look at it like that. And these are still the 17, or actually we have 19 currency pairs. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 19 currency pairs. And these are the current market prices, the sell price and the buy price. Colors. People may have a question about what these colors are. This is just there to help people visually track what's going on, because there's so many numbers and movements there. All that a green price means is that the price has ticked up since its last price. Red means that it's ticked down since the last price, and yellow indicates that the price has not changed for a certain amount of time. All of these are customizable. You can remove those colors. You can change that as you see fit. Again, we have here our high and low figures for each currency pair. And here in this window, we see some additional information, which is really great. This INTRS and INTRB refers to the interest figures for holding positions overnight.
Okay.
These are actually dollar figures per lot for each of the currency pairs. And this is an abbreviation for interest when you sell that particular currency pair, and this is abbreviation for interest when you buy that particular currency pair. For example, right now we know that the euro yields a higher interest rate than the U.S. dollar. So thus, when you buy euros and you hold them overnight, you're entitled to receive $14 for each lot. I believe this is taking into consideration the Christmas holiday, so the rollover is a little bit skewed this week because the banks are closed on Thursday and then for the weekend. So typically you see something like $3 here and like $2.80, so forth and so on. But this is great because it's very transparent. We update these figures every day at 3 o'clock, and a client is able to see with complete accuracy exactly how much interest he's subject to pay or receive if he chooses to hold his position overnight. And the rollover cutoff here is 5 o'clock Eastern Time, which is the end of the trading day and the start of the next day.
All right, so that means that if your order is executed before that cutoff date, then you'll get the interest starting with that day, or?
Well, the way that interest works typically in this market is that it doesn't matter when you open the position. Interest is accrued only for positions that are held past 5 o'clock. If you keep a position open past 5 o'clock, that's when you either receive or pay the interest for holding it overnight. It's possible that you open the position at 5:01 p.m. and then you close it at 4:59 p.m. That is not subject to any rollover because it was closed before the end of the trading day.
What if you open up an order just before? Okay, suppose I buy euros right before 5 o'clock.
Let's say 4:59 p.m.
And do I get the interest?
Yes, you can. You would accrue the interest by holding it through 5 o'clock, even though you only held it up for 1 minute. Okay. That's simply the way the banks calculate interest. There's no way to calculate it per second or minute, so they have this rollover cutoff, which they use on a daily basis.
Now, is this available on mini accounts?
This is available for all accounts. On the mini account, because the lot size is 1/10 the size, you would just simply hear and see that the figures would be 1/10 that of the standard account.
Oh, okay, cool.
Because the position is 1/10. Now, we at FXCM, everything we do, we like to make it transparent. Most every other competitor I've seen, they don't even bother showing you these figures. You're still getting charged interest everywhere else you go. This is part of trading currencies, but you simply don't know what it is. And, preferred customers get preferred treatment and preferred rates. Here it's equal and the same for all, and everybody can see that very easily from this window. This column, the PIP cost column, is really great for people just getting started in the market. A common question that we sometimes have is, what is the value of a PIP? And this is a calculator automatically there for them, and it shows them the value of each point movement for each lot. So if I'm trading Euro USD and I buy one lot, I know that each point the market moves, I'm either making or losing $10 US. And here for other currency pairs, that's different. It's depending on the currency that I'm trading. This is all in dollar amounts. So this is helpful for people. If they want to know, well, how is this gross P&L calculated? It's pretty much their P&L times the PIP cost for each currency pair. This is the last price update. Each price update is given a certain timestamp, and that's simply the last time that the currency prices have updated here. And that's pretty much it for the simple dealing rates window. Okay. What I want to show you guys is the ability to customize the software. You are able to subscribe or unsubscribe any of these currency pairs. We have a lot of traders who don't like to focus on these other, exotic crosses or less common crosses. They like to focus like on the 4 majors, for example. And they're able to right-click on the window, and you see a menu here that says Currency Subscribe List. This is a complete list of all the currency pairs, and you're able to enable and disable any of them from your list. For example, I don't want to look at Aussie New Zealand. You can select that, and you can disable it. And in the process, remove it from your list. It's no longer here on this list. So that's useful for people who just want to track a few currency pairs and don't want to get confused with all the other figures there on the screen. A very, very important feature of the software, which I would like to emphasize, is the reports feature. Now, we mentioned here that you're able to track your closed trades for one trading day from this menu, and that's pretty easy. But let's say you wanted an older history of your account. You wanted to look at a transaction history for last month or last year. We have a real-time reporting feature, which is completely automatic. There's no human calculation. There's no human error involved. This allows you to specify the time frame for any report that you have. By default, you see today's trading day, but you can change that. We can say, for example, since December 1st until now. Or we can even say since the account was opened until now. And by running that report, it's going to give me up a new HTML page, which is coming up right now. And mind you, it's a secure site, so all of this sensitive information is completely encrypted. No way people can hack that or get that. And what you see here is a complete transaction history for every single trade that you've placed. The ticket number for the trade, the currencies you've traded, the size of your positions. Here we see 1 million, so 10 lots in this case. The date at which it was bought or sold, so you can see if it was a long or short position. The total gross profit or loss on that position, if there were any commissions accrued through a broker. The interest, the total interest that was accrued when you held the positions overnight. On these trades, for example, it was held for a couple of days. There were a bit of interest accrued, and then finally your net profit or loss for each ticket number. This is great because you can also see how you open and close each position. This refers to a market order, which was used to open up the position, and ultimately was closed using the close button. Let me just show you guys, remind you guys. The close button. Okay, we have a bit of internet lags, but that's all right. The close button would have just been the button to specify which ticket number you wanted to close. In some cases, positions were closed as a result of a limit order that was placed on them, and in some cases, positions were margined out, and we see here a margin call indicating that, these were some huge losses on this demo account, and that's ultimately when the position got closed, when he fell below his margin requirement. Scrolling down a bit on the report, we see some other categories which are very useful. The time that you run the report, it takes a snapshot of everything going on in your account, and this includes any outstanding orders which you may have in place, such as the limit entry order that we see here in the orders window. Okay, so when I ran that report, that was considered an outstanding order. If, for example, I had some stops and limits on open positions, which I'm going to add right now, that would also be considered an outstanding order. And if I ran a new report, it would take a new snapshot of my account, and I would see here that that information has been updated instantly. Here is the stop order which I had just added on my $yen ticket number. So you can see if the outstanding order is it an entry order, a limit entry order, or is it a stop or limit which you may have added, and exactly the price that was specified by the trader in relation to the current market price. Of course, it also takes a snapshot of your open positions, which I'm going to show you guys. It's pretty much the same information which we see in the open positions window, but this is not floating. This is just a snapshot when I ran the report. Again, the ticket number, the price at which I opened the position, the price at which I could close it at that time, and thus the floating profit and loss, which was calculated as a result. And here I see that both were opened as a result of a market order. This is great to track. The account activity is great to track any deposits or withdrawals you make on the account. Obviously, the first thing you can expect to see on all accounts is an initial deposit for the account, and then subsequently you can see any interest, profits, or losses from trading. And of course, this is a demo account, so I don't see any withdrawals, but if it was a real account, any withdrawals that you made on the account, the exact date, the exact amount, all in the account activity statement, and pretty much a bottom line here, where that summarizes everything for the trader. People often ask us, well, it's tax season now, are you going to send us 1099, a report? This is pretty much the legal and unadulterated account activity statement for the trader. He does not need us to fax or mail anything which is irrelevant when it's a few days late. He can specify the time frame exactly for any report, and that's a legal statement for every trade that he's placed. Okay. Let me go ahead and close this now, and we can move on a little bit. Any questions about the report or anything specific you guys want to figure out how to track in here?
No, that's fine.
Okay, great. Okay, like we said here, we tried to make it very easy to use, very easy toolbar up here. Okay, sell, buy is the same thing as a market order. Okay, any stops or limits you want to add, and when you want to close positions, entry orders, the report button. Here we see some additional tools which we like to provide with our traders. The links button, for example, takes them immediately to our news and research site, which is called dailyfx.com. This is maybe one of the most comprehensive FX research websites on the web, and here we have daily articles which are updated, a bulletin board where they can communicate with other traders. Okay, this site gets thousands and thousands of hits every day. They can talk about the major currencies. They can talk about, the other currency pairs. There's even some strategies here where they can see a chart of the day, and they can see some nice ideas for trades here, with some visual and graphic representations. And this is just a great way for traders to communicate. People who are just getting started can really bounce ideas back and forth for, with some more seasoned traders. DailyFX is a great site, and, we can, did you guys want me to spend some more time talking about what's available here? Or shall we stick to the software, the trading software?
You're going to go through charts now, right?
Absolutely, sure.
Yeah.
This is actually where our charts are housed. We have from the DailyFX website. If I go back to the home page, which is opening up right now. Okay, we see here our free real-time charts for DailyFX. But before I get to the charts, because I want to spend some time talking about that, let me just go back and finish up these shortcut toolbars that we have in the trading station. We do see a charts button here, and I don't want this to confuse anybody because FXCM offers so many different charting options. We have about 5 free different chart packages, which any trader is able to choose from. You can choose all of them or one of them. They're all with no cost. This button right now, what it does is it directs traders specifically to a download link on our website for the charts that we call the Market Scope charts. These are charts which we've specifically developed. We've customized them as a plug-in to the trading software. So actually, let me go ahead. Here, there's a brief description. There's actually a download link here, which I'm going to initialize. And I'm going to go ahead and download that chart plugin. In addition to this, like I mentioned, there's 4 free charts, the web charts, which we have on the DailyFX website. And we can talk briefly about those in just a second. So here I'm just completing my installation. Relatively small pieces of software. They shouldn't take too long to install. After I finish that, I just want to be sure to restart my trading station for those changes to take effect. I'm going to go ahead and restart that. There we go. And now I will find that when I click on that same exact chart button, it will not direct me to the download link on the website. It will actually open up the charting software which I've already installed. And like we said, these were called the Market Scope charts. This is the default chart package that came up. In just a second, we're going to spend our time and we can answer any questions about this charting software. But I'm going to close that for now, just so we can really complete all the ins and outs of the trading software. News, very similar. We have a free news software. It's very comprehensive. The provider of this news is Thomson Financial. This is a news company similar to Bloomberg and Reuters based in the UK, and their division called IFR Markets provides us with this news plugin. So right now what this button did was it took me to the download page on the website where I'm going to go ahead and install that news software, just like I did the chart software. Okay. And again, we're just going to restart the application to complete that installation. Thanks for your patience, guys.
No problem.
Now, one thing that I'd really like to brag about, which maybe in addition to our size and quality of execution, is really unparalleled. No other company can provide the level of customer service that's available at FXCM. Mm-hmm. And this I want to illustrate with this button here. It's called the chat button. What this is a customer support area. It's an instant messenger which connects you to an FXCM representative 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Even when the market's closed over the weekend, we are fully staffed here. We have people to take sales inquiries, client support inquiries, technical support, or even people who just want to chat about the market. And right now I'm just going to demonstrate this very quickly. Let's say that we have a technical support problem. For whatever reason, we're having difficulty with the trading station. This pulls up a window which connects the trader immediately to an FXCM representative, and in a matter of seconds, we have a response here. This is actually somebody live who typed in this message and who's asking how they can help me. Can you guys think of a hypothetical technical problem we can ask this guy? Let's say that, I am unable to log in. Okay?
Well, how would you, if you couldn't log in, you couldn't even ask that question.
Well, that's true, but you have to keep in mind that on the website as well, if we go to the FXCM homepage, or even on the Daily Effects website, we do have chat buttons all over the place. So,
I see. Oh, okay. I was thinking because you hit that within the trading station. So. Okay.
Right. Well, just assuming that I did it from outside of the trading station, that's a very good point. And immediately the representative is going to ask me about the error message, and let me just think of something hypothetically here. Unable to load station descriptor. I did tech support for a few months here, so there's a couple error messages I'm familiar with. Actually, this is a good test for our employees. I believe the proper solution for this was just to change some settings in the trading station through the file menu. So I just want to see that this person gives me the proper directions. Just so that you guys know the answer before it actually comes to us, the proper way to fix that error message is to change the proxy settings from here. Okay, so that representative should be able to help me very quickly. Let's pull up that chat window one more time. Okay, great. And this is something that traders can count on. Anytime they need any kind of help, this was a technical example. If a trader had some market questions, some company questions, anything at all, this is really something that is the reason why we have 27,000 clients, because they can expect the support which is consistent and just unbeatable pretty much. Of course, they can call us anytime. They can send an email. Well, usually our email responses are within the hour. This is just one of the reasons why FXCM has grown to how large it is today. Now, a couple points that are also important, just in case if you guys do have international clients. We do have customer support, technical support in a variety of languages, including Mandarin, Cantonese, Japanese, Spanish, French, Russian, Arabic, Hebrew, Korean, Urdu, Portuguese, Dutch, Afrikaans, Italian, German, and I think there's a few more which I may not even be familiar with.
Are those available 24/7 or only during certain hours?
In some cases, it's 24/7. Spanish speakers we have across the shifts pretty much. But in some cases, for example, the Arabic speakers, we have them on the night shift from 12 to 8, which is European market hours, and during New York hours. During Asian hours, that's really at nighttime in Middle East. There's really no need to have a representative to support that part of the world. Everybody's sleeping. But at any time, they can request a phone call. Even if they just want to leave a message on the chat, anybody that they want can get back to them as soon as possible. Okay. So I see here the representative just following up with the support that he's providing, and we can give him a rest here. And let me go ahead and close this out. We have specialists also, specialists who are able to help in the areas of charting. We have charting specialists who can help choose from a variety of charting packages, like I mentioned. If a client has certain needs, certain requests, our specialists here can, really identify what software is best for them. Training specialists who conduct the power course that we offer, in-house analysts and FX experts to discuss recent market events, and system trading specialists. Anybody who has like a third-party software, who has systems programmed, we can help them integrate that and use it in conjunction with the trading platform here.
Now, if I had my own charting software that I used from another vendor. Could I use that easily with your trading station? Or?
Absolutely. There's no reason whatsoever. In fact, there are times when people prefer to use their own charts. I mean, people who have spent thousands of dollars on a very advanced system like Metastock or eSignal, for example, or Mega Trade Station.
Yeah.
These are very comprehensive, very valuable things. They're not going to even compare to the free charts that we have. They're going to be just leagues and leagues ahead, and we recommend that people continue using that. There's no reason why they can't. Pretty much FXCM's function, our primary function, is as a market maker. And we do provide peripherals, we do provide these additional resources just to help people out. I mean, to be able to give them 4 or 5 different packages which they can use, there's no reason why they can't continue using their own charting software, even if it's with another competitor. If people like it, we say, you know what, so do we. Continue using it, and that's not a problem. But like I said, we do have our own charting software, and I'll be more than happy to go through that, and why don't we do that right now.
Okay.
What I clicked on here was the chart button, and like we said, this was the market scope charts. Let me go through the basic functionality with you guys, and you can ask me any specific details you have about those charts. By default here, I'll see that I'm online, connected to the server, and here's my server time. I can open up a new chart from the toolbar here, and here you're able to specify any of the 17 or 19 pairs that we offer. The time frame for your chart, let's say an hourly chart or daily chart, and that should pull it up. And this actually, the nice thing about our charts, when you do use our charts, is that they, is that they pull the prices directly from our server. And this way, the prices here, actually it looks like our server has gone down, so it looks like the prices have stopped updating for this particular charting package. But just to show you guys how these look visually, you have the grid, you have the market prices, you have the dates and times for them, and here you're able to track the information for each period here. Anybody who wants to customize that, change the colors to their taste. I know this is a little bit annoying with this grid. Because these are downloadable charts and Windows-based, we can go ahead and change all of these to suit our tastes. I'll give you guys some examples. I can change the background color, the axis color. People can make them look very good. Obviously, the most basic functionality people want to, right now what we're seeing here is a bar chart. People can change that to a candle chart, okay, or a line chart, whatever they choose. Okay, you can zoom in on a certain time frame by clicking on the zoom button here. Okay, I'm sorry the charts are a bit skewed because we have a bit of a spike here. It's just not properly connected to the server. So we're going to look into that. I think that it just may be a poor installation, which I can correct by uninstalling and reinstalling. To be honest, these are very new charts, and they just have to be tweaked a little bit. What I'd like to show you guys is just the other different chart options which we have available on the DailyFX website. Now, there are probably some basic things that all traders are looking for. The general indicators, we do have a nice list of indicators here available. And keep in mind, these are free charts. You don't have to pay 1 cent for them. But they do have a good selection of different indicators which are commonly asked for, including MACD, stochastics, RSI, and even some additional ones which are less frequently used, but which may be useful to some technical traders. Elliott wave analysis, for example, CCI, directional moving indicator. I think we have a total of about 3 dozen in this particular package. Let's say that we want to apply a MACD in this case. Okay, we have our MACD histogram and the signal in the MACD line right here. Fibonacci levels, for example, we have the toolbar menu here where you can choose options like adding lines, labels, indicators, and, for example, Fibonacci levels where you can specify a high and a low point and develop Fibonacci retracement levels, not just the main percentage levels, but even extension lines, which some traders find useful. So it is a pretty comprehensive package. I use it for basic chart history and just for basic technical analysis. The nice thing about these is that you can open multiple charts simultaneously and you can save the layouts for future reference. And any changes you made, such as making it a candle chart and adding any indicators, are also saved. And this is useful for people who want to set up a very specific layout and pull it up very quickly when they reopen their charts. Let's say Euro Swiss, daily chart on Euro Swiss. Okay, and we can organize the windows. We can cascade them. We can tile them, such as we did here. And then what we can do is we can go into the system menu, and we can actually save that as a layout. And we can call that anything that we want. And whenever we want, we can go back and we can open up that layout, which we've named here.
Okay.
We also have an integrated print function. A lot of people like to print out their charts. They can do so directly from this package. Okay. You're able to, let me show you some other functionality here. Lock the view, for example, if you want to scroll back and do some back testing, for example. You can prevent the chart from updating and just do some historical analysis. There's some also people who have formulas that they like to apply in a spreadsheet format. We have something called the table view. You're able to pull up the history, the price information of the chart per date and time, open, high, low, and close prices, and you're able to do your own back testing or analysis by transferring this information to a spreadsheet. And you can easily scroll between that and the chart from the tabular here in format that you have at the bottom. They have all the basic functionality that all charts offer. The nice thing, like I mentioned, is that they have a good list of indicators and time frames, and you do have that savability, which is unique to Windows-based charts. Are there any specific questions or requests that you typically have for charts that you may want to ask about?
I'm sure there are, but me personally, I don't have any at the moment.
Okay, not a problem. What I briefly want to show you is just the different options that traders can go through. Let me quickly go back to our Daily FX website, and here we can do that by clicking on links.
Oh, I have a question.
Sure.
If you're on your charts, can you enter an order directly there?
From the chart itself?
Yes. Yeah.
No. No. You enter orders directly from the trading station.
Oh, okay.
And the trading station is the most reliable source of real-time prices. This is exactly the price where you can buy and sell. But like you see here, you can quickly scroll back and forth. And if you want, just a very simple browser functionality is to,
Okay, from them there is one if you can like right-click somewhere on the chart and say, okay, I want to limit order here or something,
I see your point. At this point, no, they're not integrated with that API to connect them to.
Okay.
It is one of the projects the company is developing, and ultimately you will be able to trade off of the charts and create orders off the charts. At this point, it's just another program which runs simultaneously with the trading platform.
Okay.
But that's a good question. Let me go back here to the Daily FX website, and I can show you guys a bit of the other basic real-time charts that we have here. These charts are outsourced because we have relationships with a lot of companies. They've developed these softwares, and a lot of them use our price feed, which is something useful for, since clients trading with us like to look at our prices. We see here these charts were developed by a company called NetDania, FX Trek, and Stratagem. FX Trek actually have two options, a chart which use our price feed and a chart which use like an index price feed to give a general idea of what other market makers are quoting at any given moment in time. In addition to that, if people want a really much more comprehensive charting package, something that's much more professional, has really more advanced capabilities, we do have subscription services here which are completely optional depending what the client needs. Let me briefly show you a couple of these. NetDania charts, for example, are a favorite for a lot of clients because they're very basic, they're very easy to use, and they have all the standard functionality that they would expect in a chart. And that's going to open it up quickly. These are Java-based, so it does take a few moments for them to load, but they do dynamically update.
Now, do you have to be a client do you currently have to have an account with FXCM to get the NetDania?
Not at all. These are, like I said, this is right on the website. These are public links. Even the market scope charts, as you notice, we added that to a demo account, so you don't even have to be a real client. As long as you download the software and you have a demo account, you can download the market scope charts, which we still have running here. As far as these web-based ones, I'm pretty sure that thousands of other clients trading with other companies come to the Daily FX site not just for the news and research, but to use the free charts as well. So this is available to the general public. What we see here is a Euro USD chart, a 1-hour chart with the current market price. And again, basic functionality such as the ability to change the currency pair that you're looking at. Okay, change the type of chart that you're looking at. Candlestick is a favorite for many traders. Customize your time frame. The indicators here are good. They're not as comprehensive as the ones in the market scope charts, but you do have the most commonly asked for indicators available to use here. And of course the zoom and add trend lines and things like that. The only thing about these web-based charts is that in some of them you're not able to save any changes you make. If you add a trend line, and then you close these charts and come back, you're going to start over with the default chart pretty much. And that's why one that you download and add is useful for clients who make a lot of changes to their charts and want to save them, for example. These charts aren't bad. Personally, I like to use, let's see here, we have the FX Track, which are also very good charts, very popular charts. These look a little bit different, but again, they offer the same basic functionality. Let's open these simultaneously. And that, I believe, is in the process of loading right now. So, there we go. Again, people don't like that black background. They want a standard white background. These charts have some nice graphic functionality where you can change that, things like that.
Now, this is an online chart as well, right?
These are one of the, yes. This is just a second example of a different charting package which is available for free online. And again, it has you have your indicators here. Okay. In this case, you have a bit of fewer indicators. The other ones here, which are a bit more comprehensive, these are available from FX Track's subscription package. So what they show here is a taste through their free charts, and they show you all the different options you have in their subscription packages. So they have quite a few indicators, but you have to pay for them if you need to use them. Time scale, same idea. Indicators. And basic line and graphic functionality for anybody who wants to use that. Now, one of the most favorite packages which most clients like to use are the stratagem charts, and I want to show you guys that quickly because those do have the ability to save layouts and to bring up layouts and so forth and so on. So let's go back to our main page. The stratagem charts, however, they do have a slightly more specific requirement in terms of the software required to run them. They're not just Java-based, they require Java runtime environment. And what we've provided here is a direct download link for anybody who wants to download that in order to use these charts. Let me quickly check to see if you guys have already installed that. It's possible that it's already on some browsers. And let me do that very quickly for you guys. It might save us the trouble of downloading it. Yes, actually, it looks like you do have that installed, which is great. If you didn't, you can go very quickly. We connect you to the link to Sun Java's homepage where you can download that. So let's see if we can run these charts. It's going to pull up the main page here, and then we're going to see a small applet come up, which is this, and that's going to pull the prices from our database servers. And these are nice charts. They're very easy to use. They have a very nice toolbar, and I guess it's not surprising why they're a favorite of a lot of clients. The only issue with anything that's Java-based, including these charts, is that it does take a little bit of time to load the information for the first time, and that's why it just takes a few moments. And that's a very good reason for why our software itself is not Java-based. A lot of companies still do have something that's Java-based.
Because of the lag, or?
Well, yeah, it's just a server-based system, which causes a lot of stress on the server. The more people that are using it, the slower it is, and it's not very scalable, especially if there's a lot of people trading when the market is active. That's why those systems tend to crash more and just have difficulties. We periodically even have updates for our software. Oftentimes when you log in, you'll see something like an updater, because we are always, listening to client requests to improve the software, to add functionality, to change functionality. And when you log in, it automatically updates. You never have to worry about that. You're always ensured to have a recent updated version of the software. And that's one of the reasons why our software is so easy to use and just so comprehensive. We've really used a lot of customer feedback. What we see here is one of the stratagem charts. In this case, we have a bar chart again. and we can change that from the menus. I believe here we can change the chart from a bar to candle. Let's stick with the candle chart here. Okay. Let's make it a nice, easy background to look at. Oops, I clicked the wrong button. My bad, guys. Let's go back here and reverse our colors. Okay, and let's take a look at the different tabular studies that we have. We have, again, this chart, just like the market scope charts, have a tabular data option where you can sort of pull it up in a spreadsheet format where you can cut and paste that. That's a favorite for a lot of people who have their own formulas set in like Excel or things like that. Here's our studies menu. Again, we have the very basic and most commonly asked for. And this one has some good options. It has CCI, it has rate of change. I'm not even sure what some of these are. I use some of the major studies myself. Different time frame options. These charts do have a nice weekly, monthly, and quarterly charts, which longer-term traders may find useful. You do have, and this is the difference, like we said, we have the workspace option. We're able to make workspaces where you can open up different, workspaces. For example, here's workspace 2. We can open up 4 or 5 charts here in this workspace and have 4 separate charts in another workspace. So it's very easy to organize. A lot of people are following different currency pairs. This is a great way for them to stay on top of what they're doing. Zoom functionality. If you want to zoom by a certain block, you can use some of the toolbars here, for example. This is, if in case you're not sure of what any of the functions of the toolbar are, usually placing your mouse pointer over it. You'll get a small message letting you know what that is. I think our connection is just lagging a little bit, so there's a bit of a delay. Do you guys see a message come up there?
No, I haven't seen it.
Okay. That's all right. We just have a bit of a delay in our connection. And let me see here if there's anything else that's pretty significant that we can talk about. You see the charts, they're updating dynamically. Euro's making some Euro highs now. And these update pretty quickly, pretty much in sync with the trading station. Now, the fact that the feed is derived from the trading station, there may be a millisecond or a second delay, but they are pretty real-time. They update very quickly. And a lot of traders like to keep them up while they have the trading station up.
Okay.
So those are the different options. There are a lot of options. It's good not to get confused. Traders sometimes just stick with 1 or 2 that they like. And that is, in general, everything that I wanted to present to you guys. Let me just give you guys a form to ask any questions. I'll be more than happy to address any concerns you guys have. Anything specific you guys can think of?
No, I'm sure I'll have questions after you hang up, right? Isn't that But no, it was good. I liked your platform. It's pretty straightforward.
Excellent.
And intuitive, and it looks rather easy to use as well. So.
Absolutely, absolutely. Now, I'm not sure if you guys have speakers up, but we even have there's different sound options, which I forgot to mention. If you go to the File menu here, and you go to the Options, in addition to being able to change your password at any time, some of the other customizable features which some people like to play around with are fonts and colors and sounds and things like that. People who find the font a little bit too small, they want to look at, they're able to go to the Accounts window, for example, and increase the size of their font. And you're able to do that for each window individually, and you're able to restore the defaults from that menu. So here, for example, our information is a lot larger. And the same goes with colors. People who don't like the background colors, that's perfectly fine. You're able to change that as you see fit. And we do that here, again, for each different table, okay, such as the dealing rates window, for example. Okay, let's say people like a red background. And that's perfectly fine. Changes that pretty much, and they're able to save it. The only thing you need to remember to save that is you go up to the File menu and you log out before you actually close the platform, and it will save any changes to that computer.
Okay.
A sound function. I'm not sure if you guys have speakers running, but traders who log in, they might hear some sounds. For example, if the dealing rates update, they get a certain default sound. They can program different sound functionality. For example, if a stopper limit got triggered, or if they wanted an alert if their entry order got hit, you can change the name of the event, and you can create a separate and unique sound for each one of these events here.
Is that a WAV file or?
Well, what you have is a default file, which automatically comes with the system when you download it. But if you have a certain song or file that you want, you can just click on External File, and for each event, you can select a specific file that you may have saved on your computer.
Okay. Okay.
These are just small, quirks that make the platform really user-friendly and customizable.
Okay.
And other than that, what do you guys think?
I think it's good. I think this is a good system, good platform for the novice trader.
Absolutely, absolutely.
So, and I like the transparency of for example, you have the window open right there. You know exactly, the interest cost or gain for overnight positions, and the pip cost. That's great too. That's for people coming from a futures background, you always want to know, how much a tick is costing you, whether it's for or against you, and
exactly.
Right there is really convenient as well.
And we really, that's a very good point. When we develop the software and when we update it, the first thing we have in mind is for the trader to make it easy to trade. It's hard enough trading and focusing on all the news and analysis that you're doing. The last thing you want to have to worry about is having to calculate, positions, try to calculate tip cost. We've tried to present it in a way where everything is just easily displayed for you. And pretty much, even your profits and losses, it's just there in real time. You can run a report in real time and really focus on your trading, making those good positions and getting out when you need to. And that's what we've tried to do. I've sort of cluttered up the window here a bit, so I'm sorry about that.
One more question while we're looking at that. That cost per pip, that's per lot, right?
Exactly. These are all dollar figures, what we see here, per lot.
Okay.
So,
and it's different if you're in a mini. If you're in a mini account, it's per mini, what? 10,000?
Exactly. That's why I log in quickly here into a mini account. And you know what? You actually reminded me what I want to show potential clients is the multiple accounts feature, which I forgot to mention. So I'll just spend a couple minutes and we'll close up with that. But let's log back into our mini test account, and we can see what the system looks like here.
So this is a real live dollar account here.
Yeah, that's a real mini account. It is a test account though, so our dealing desk knows not to really execute these trades.
Oh.
Let me just go ahead and change the look and feel from advanced to simple.
Yeah, you don't want to blow up your trading desk with a mini account.
Okay, and here we see.
There you go. Yeah.
Let me open up that window here. Yes, and we see our interest figures correspond to each mini lot, and our pip value corresponds to each mini lot.
Now, multiple accounts, you're saying?
Yes. Let's take a quick look at that. I believe we have a test account where we have that activated for demonstration purposes. So let me log back into that. Okay, let's just see if we can reorganize these. Okay, here we go. The only difference in this test account, like I mentioned, is that we have multiple accounts linked to the same username and password. And this is an option that clients have. Let me just bring that over here and show you guys what that looks like. Each account number maintains its own specific account number. It has its own balance. It has its own equity. If a person wanted to, for example, they can have a 1% margin account. They can have a 2% margin account. They can trade. Another reason is that a person who wants to maintain a long-term strategy on one, and at the same time a short-term and day trading strategy on the other, and you're able to open up different positions on each account. And the nice thing is that now when I place a trade, I'm able to specify exactly which account number I want to trade. I see the different account number options in any order, in the market order and the entry order window right here. And if a person wanted to, for example, let's say wanted to place two trades very quickly, simultaneously on two different account numbers, again, you can click Control on your keyboard, highlight those two account numbers, And now the multiple accounts feature is activated in my market order window. And I'm actually able to see those account numbers, specify, for example, a 1-lot trade here, okay, and a 3-lot trade here, okay, in pound dollar. And it will open up 5 lots simultaneously on the different account numbers as you specify here.
Very nice.
And again, the same thing. If I opened up, multiple positions, I would see for each position in my open positions window. Let me see if I can bring that back up. Tickets is the open position window. Let's see, where have we hidden that? Somewhere in the background. You could actually see if you traded on one account number. Okay, here it's 14682. If you traded on another account number, you would actually see that different tickets would be traded on different account numbers, and they would all appear in the same open positions window. So again, a very concise, organized way to track maybe a more complicated strategy. It's possible people want to hedge. If they want to buy euros on one account, they want to sell euros on the other account, they're able to track that very easily for each account number from here. And that's just the feature I wanted to mention, because we do have a lot of traders who choose to do that for whatever reason. I mean, most traders do have one account, but there are specific reasons for personally why a person might want 2 separate account numbers. And I think that wraps it up, guys.
Okay.
I want to thank you very much for your time. I know that took a little close to 2 hours, but appreciate your patience. And if you ever have any questions, like you saw, we're here 24/7. Feel free to call us anytime.
Well, thank you very much for your time.
It's my pleasure, sir. Take care.
All right.
Bye-bye.
Bye.